Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. This is Thomas Sandor Townsend, your licensed massage therapist and your certified meditation instructor. Today we're discussing Chapter 8 and the book Mindfulness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. And Chapter 8 is entitled Structuring Your Meditation. First of all, you need to establish a formal practice schedule, a specific period when you will do Vipassana meditation and nothing else. When you were a baby, you did not know how to walk. Somebody went to a lot of trouble to teach you that skill. They dragged you by the arms, they gave you lots of encouragement, made you put one foot in front of the other until you could do it by yourself. Those periods of instruction constituted a formal practice in the art of walking. In meditation, we follow the same basic procedure. We set aside a certain time specifically devoted to developing this mental skill called mindfulness. We devote these times exclusively to that activity, and we structure our environment so there will be a minimum of distraction. This is not the easiest skill in the world to learn. We have spent our entire life developing mental habits that are really quite contrary to the ideal of uninterrupted mindfulness. Extricating ourselves from those habits requires a bit of strategy. As we said earlier, our minds are like cups of muddy water. The object of meditation is to clarify this sludge so that we can see what is going on in there. The best way to do that is just let it sit. Give it enough time and it will settle down. You wind up with clear water. That does not mean we have to do anything to force this settling. It is a natural process that happens by itself. The very act of sitting still and being mindful causes this settling. In fact, any effort on our part to force this settling is counterproductive. Try to force things out of the mind and you merely add energy to them. The best way to clarify the mental fluid is to just let it settle all by itself. Don't add any energy to the situation. Just mindfully watch the mud swirl without any involvement in the process. Then, when it settles at last, it will stay settled. We exert energy in meditation, but not force. Our only effort is gentle, patient mindfulness. Everything that happens to you is stored away in the mind in some form, mental or emotional. During normal activity, you get so caught up in the process of events that the basic issues with which you are dealing are seldom thoroughly handled. They become buried in the unconscious, where they seethe and foam and fester. Then you wonder where all that tension came from. All of this material comes forth in one form or another during your meditation. You get a chance to look at it, see it for what it is, and let it go. We set up a formal meditation period in order to create a conducive environment for this release. We reestablish our mindfulness at regular intervals. We withdraw from those events that constantly stimulate the mind. We back out of all that activity that prides the emotions. We go off to a quiet place and we sit still and it all comes bubbling out. Then it goes away. The net effect is like recharging a battery. Meditation recharges your mindfulness. Where to sit? Find yourself a quiet place, a secluded place, a place where you will be alone. It doesn't have to be some ideal spot in the middle of a forest. That's nearly impossible for most of us, but it should be a place where you feel comfortable and where you won't be disturbed. It should be a place where you won't feel on display. Try to pick a spot that is as quiet as possible. It doesn't have to be soundproof. It doesn't have to be a soundproof room, but there are certain noises that are highly distracting and they should be avoided. Music and talking are about the worst. You will probably find it helpful to sit in the same place each time. A special spot reserved for your meditation and nothing else is an aid for most people. You soon come to associate the spot with the tranquility of deep concentration, and that association helps you to reach deep states more quickly. Try several spots until you find one where you feel comfortable. When to sit. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Set up a practice schedule to keep it with a gentle, patient tenacity. Meditation is not a duty or an obligation. Meditation is a psychological activity. You will be dealing with the raw stuff of feelings and emotions. Consequently, it is an activity that is very sensitive to the attitude with which you approach each session. What you expect is what you are most likely to get. Your practice will therefore go best when you are looking forward to sitting. First thing in the morning is a great time to meditate. Your mind is fresh then, before you've gotten yourself buried in responsibilities. Morning meditation is a fine way to start your day. It tunes you up and gets you ready to deal with things efficiently. You cruise through the rest of the day just a bit more lightly. You may want to do a bit of exercise beforehand to get the circulation flowing. Do whatever you need to do in order to wake up fully, then sit down to meditate. Do not, however, let yourself get hung up in the daily activities. It's just too easy to forget to sit. Make meditation the first major thing you do in the morning. The evening is another good time for practice. Your mind is full of all the mental rubbish that you have accumulated during the day, and it is great to get rid of that burden before you sleep. Your meditation will cleanse and rejuvenate your mind, reestablish your mindfulness, and your sleep will be real sleep. When you first start meditation, once a day is enough. If you feel like meditating more, that's fine, but don't overdo it. Give yourself time to incorporate the meditation practice into your life and let your practice grow gradually and gently. As your interest in meditation grows, you will find yourself making more room in your schedule for practice. It is a spontaneous phenomenon, and it happens pretty much by itself. No force necessary. How long to sit? A similar rule applies here. Sit as long as you can, but don't overdo it. Most beginners start with 20 or 30 minutes. Initially, it's difficult to sit longer than that with profit. As you grow accustomed to the procedure, you can extend your meditation little by little. We recommend it that after a year or so of steady practice, you should be sitting comfortably for an hour at a time. We're trying to cultivate mindfulness, not pain. Some pain is inevitable, especially in the legs. So don't force yourself to sit with excruciating pain just to be able to say that you sat for an hour. That is a useless exercise in ego, and don't overdo it. In the beginning, know your limitations and don't condemn yourself for not being able to sit forever like a rock. There is no hard and fast rule about length of time for sitting, even if you have established a firm minimum. There may be days when it is physically impossible for you to sit for that long. That doesn't mean that you should just cancel the whole idea for that day. It's crucial to sit regularly. Even 10 minutes of meditation can be very beneficial. Incidentally, you decided on the length of your session before you meditate. Don't do it while you're meditating. So choose a realistic length of time and stick to it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Love you. Peace. Be well.